Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, we have the Virtual Velocity Racing ARCA series as we are back here in action at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indianapolis, Indiana. This place is iconic. I mean, there's no other way around it. The infield seating raises the total capacity here to 400,000. I mean, that's an insane number for any kind of racetrack, but it's amazing. And more often than not, it's pretty packed here for whether it's NASCAR, whether it's the Indy 500. It's pretty crazy. But I mean, the Speedway promotes that within its perimeter, you could actually fit the Lawn Tennis Club at Wimbledon, Rome's Coliseum, the Kentucky Derby, Yankee Stadium, the Rose Bowl, and the entirety of Vatican City, and still have room to spare. I mean, it just gives you an idea of how huge this complex is here. The 2.5 mile quad oval, certainly a famous track here, and I mean, 4 corners that are exactly the same, exactly banked the same, exactly the same distance, but nothing alike. It's pretty amazing how you're taking each of these corners. Definitely want to watch out for the exit of turn 4. It seems to be always the tough little spot, the bugaboo for everyone out here, as you can get a little bit tight and easily find that turn 4 wall onto the front stretch and ruin what could be your first lap or maybe even your last lap. Carl Hamworth joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, we are here for 80 laps at the beautiful IMS.
Yeah, another great day here in Iracing at Indy. So it's definitely a unique track, like you said, and the drivers not only need to be fast, they need to be aware of their surroundings, because those corners are unique. Is plenty wide enough to go too wide around here, but like you said, the exit of 2 and 4 can tend to get a little tight. 4 being a little more tighter and the 2 for some reason, and I think it might just because people are just kind of anxious to get around that corner and get down that front straightaway and maybe practice for our finishes. The start finish line isn't even at the halfway mark, it is down at the end, so it's a long ways down there when you come off of turn number 4. So definitely going to be an interesting one here tonight, because seeing about 24 cars out on the track. They're out there practicing right now. I'll go ahead and drop that down. I'll bring up the timing tower to see who's got laps in right now, and it looks like Austin Call's got a 53.637. He was fastest during practice, so no shock that he is sitting at the top here in the provisional poll, as we have a few minutes left of practice. We got about 2.5 minutes there showing there on the clock, as your drivers, our favorite driver, is putting in their lap times right now. So I can't wait to see how things shake up here as we're over the halfway mark and on down the down slope. But obviously after this week, I think they're taking a week off, then they're back again, and then they're going to take another little summer break for VVR. So there's going to be some sporadic showings here on Thursday nights for VVR, but definitely stay tuned as just if you hit that like and hit that bell, they give you that notification when we go live. So definitely a great league to watch, and a great league if you're interested in getting involved here with the ARCA cars. You can get a hold of me and Carl, and we can get you a hold of Tim Lee or one of the other admins and get you invited in here. It's definitely a place to be on Thursday nights.
Yeah, do have one more race next week at Texas before they take their summer break, which will be a little bit over a month off from the series before we head back on July 10th. But unfortunately, we don't have the updated standings for this week. But we did see yet another different winner here on the series, and it marked 8 different winners through the first 11 races. Your only repeat winners, you got Robert Kahn picking up 2 wins, and Dalton Kilroe having 3 wins, but Ty Marasco getting the win last week joins DJ Mitzel, Tyler Hilton, Maxwell Caldwell, Robert Warnes, and Andrew Palesci all with 1 win on the season. And you wonder if we can maybe see another new winner here tonight, see if we can make it 9 out of 12, as we got some different names, different faces up there at the top. Obviously, Jimmy mentioned Austin Call there up at the top. Michael Taylor up there as well, looking to join the ranks and maybe try and notch a win under his belt. He's got a top 5 this season, but still looking to get that top spot up there. And it was good to see Ty Marasco finally crack through and get the win last week at Michigan. It was a fun one, as it always is at Michigan. I wish we were there every week, there or Auto Club, but I know we got to race some other racetracks as well. And Indy's a pretty fun one too. It can get really interesting here. The straightaway is just long enough that you can get a little bit of drafting in. But ultimately, it is all about the entry and the exits of these corners, and making sure you're getting the good exits out of here. It can set you up for a chance to pass, possibly going into the the next corners. The short chute usually doesn't see too much quick action. Setting up a pass out of 1 into 2 or out of 3 into 4. It doesn't happen too often, but you can go too wide here. It's a little scary, a little sketchy in that second line. Don't want to get into the marbles, but see these drivers handle it out here tonight. Qualifying is done. We got our field set. Jimmy, why don't you give us that rundown?
Yeah, rundown on the field here tonight, and it looks like Robert Kahn will take the pole here tonight, another fast driver during practice. Alongside will be Austin Call in that number 2. Maxwell Caldwell and Andrew Pleshy back there in row number 2. Row number 3, Dalton Kilrow and Michael Taylor. Row number 4, Ty Marasco. Last week's winner with Brandon Meir. Gordon Larson and John Garrett will make up row number 5. Tyler Hilton, Len McNeese in row number 6. Row number 7, Eric Blount and Tim Lee. Row number 8 is going to be DJ Mitchell with Mike Rideout. Row number 9, Hemi Gardini with Cade Green. And then the rest of the field here will be a row number 10 with Mike Hasty and Michael Pratt back at it, back in the back of the pack again, with Brian Rainville and Robert Smith and Michael Eden. So a few drivers with no times, and that could be either tagging them all just a little bit, coming off one of the corners and getting a 0X or an X or wrecking, or just the volunteer to start in the back. So definitely looking forward to seeing these 24 drivers get out here and take the track and see who will be able to kiss the bricks here tonight as the winner.
Yeah, just some more kind of interesting facts about Indianapolis, just looking back at the history of it. And a fellow Carl Fisher was the first one that envisioned building a circuit in his home state of Indianapolis, or Indiana, in 1905, and it took a trip to England to see the Brooklands Banked Oval Course over there to really kind of give him that push, and he started looking for land in Indianapolis, and it took construction from March 1909 is when it started. It took 500 laborers, 300 mules, and assorted steam power machines, but what emerged was a 2.5 mile nearly rectangular oval course with dozens of buildings, several bridges, grandstands, with at the time 12,000 seats and an 8-foot perimeter fence. But I mean, I know you could certainly make a joke about those 300 mules. Well, we're just going to let that one just kind of simmer for now. But I mean, either way, it was a Herculean effort to build this 2.5 mile beautiful track that it is right now. And once all brick, it is now just a strip at the start finish line of bricks. And certainly very, very famed that any drivers that get wins here, whether it's in Indy cars, whether it's in NASCARs, usually the entire team, family members and all go out there and get a chance to kiss the famed bricks that have been there for many, many years. We are set for 80 laps of racing here, race number 12 for the Virtual Velocity Racing Series, and we're about to see who is going to bring home the trophy here tonight. It's been a very interesting season so far. I mean, again, we don't have the points updated after last race at Michigan, but if it's anything like it was, I mean, Andrew Pleshy came in as the points leader, had a good finish last week. Robert Warrens it was up there in the field. Dalton Kilrow had a chance at grabbing his 4th win on the season. Maxwell Caldwell, Mike Hasty, all were up there in the points. So we'll see who's going to leave tonight with a good finish, maybe the win. We get to talk to the top 3 afterwards, as usual, and then head into one more race next week at Texas before we have our little summer break. Pace car and the field are out of turn number 4. It's going to be in the hands of Barney once that pace car pulls off to the left, and a long creep down the front stretch here for the drivers, as it's about 2/3 of the way down the front stretch till you get to that line. But the green flag is waving, and we are racing here at Indy.
Yeah, and Austin Call gets a great jump on the outside of Robert Kahn on that drop of the green flag, but very quickly the 20 comes to the inside of the 2 and takes over the lead here, coming out of turn number 1, down a short little chute before you're back in the turn number 2. And then they're going to come out to the backstretch. Now, I did see there in practice, even though all the drivers got out there, they grouped up together and did a few laps together to kind of get like a startup of the race. So getting a little practice in, and that's one thing I've noticed here with VVR is they do tend to get out here, they practice, and they'll get the group together and they'll try to imitate a start a few times and try to get that down. As sometimes in the beginning or the first lap or two, it can be very, very hectic, but you can see right now as the cars are starting to single file down, but it looks like Robert Kahn will lead the first lap number 1.
Yeah, usually this is what you're going to see here at Indy. It's not too often that you'll see 2-3 wide for a long period of time. Usually it's you make a pass or you don't, and then it's right back into single file. So that's what we're seeing right now. And really, this is a track that you're going to want to keep the tires. You've seen on that start there as Austin Call tried to battle with Robert Kahn at the front. You see that back end really step out on him as he tried to duck back in line in turn number 2. It can happen very easily on cold tires here, and even if you're not careful with them throughout the race. So you pass by Mike Casey towards the back here on Cade Green for 16th position. The draft can keep you with the rest of the pack, but it's really all about not overdriving the car. You got to keep those tires in the right temperatures so you're not just killing them and either just pushing like a dump truck or worrying that back end's going to become the front end very soon.
Yeah, you just got to be very careful around here. And we were here just a couple of weeks ago with another league, and obviously they had, I think it was Core that was here a few weeks ago. Yeah, and things happen. Like I said, it's not just a super speedway. The drivers really need to take care of the tires. You see Michael Eden in the back, rear end coming off that last turn. So definitely trying to get a hold of that, and maybe newer to the track. I mean, this is one of those tracks you either love it or you hate it. People that tend to do well here also tend to do well at Pocono for some reason, but that's just kind of what we've seen in the past. These two tracks almost go hand in hand, and Pocono is where this has 4 identical corners. Pocono's got 3 totally opposite corners, so it's definitely an interesting comparison. But to see the drivers that do well here usually do well there as well. So but right now it's Austin Call over Robert Kahn, and then Andrew Pileshi in 3rd place.
Yeah, obviously Pocono only 3 corners, and even to the point where there's a turn 4 coming out of the final corner there. But turn number 2 there at Pocono is built to replicate a turn here at Indianapolis. So certainly a little bit of a little bit of a throwback to Indianapolis at Pocono, and then the other 2 corners are designed as, I believe it's Riverside is one of them, and I forget that off the top of my head now. I think maybe New Hampshire for the other corner. But either way, it is it's a somewhat similar track, but really it's only got a couple flat corners. Here it's all 4 corners are flat, and to me, this is this is a track that if you combined turns 1 and 2, it's about the banking that a track like New Hampshire is, but it's so much more speed through these corners. It's so much tougher to get this thing rotated around at the speed that you want to take, because you can take this thing with a lot of speed, but you miss it just a little bit, you don't get down there by that white line, and it's going to push. You see right here, right along with Tyler Hilton, misses the bottom, and you see you really kind of struggle pushing through the corner there. You can get those tires all the way down underneath that white line, and almost all the way down to the grass there, to the little bit of rumble strips. So you got to take advantage of every little shortcut you can here.
Yeah, any shortcut you can, that will make you better. But the man on the move right now, and he had some pace during practice, not so much for the qualifying, as Mike Hasty. Up 6 spots moving forward, and sitting there in that 14th position, looking forward as you can see it, just a long line in front of you that that eventually you're going to hopefully catch up to them and work your way around. But you got to save them tires, like Carl was talking about earlier. Another mover in the field here, up 4 spots from the start. Ty Marasco, last week's winner, currently up 4 spots and sitting in P3, as maybe looking to get another podium here tonight. So far so good. Closing in on Robert Kahn on that Home Depot machine. This is the out of turn number 4, creeping up there, maybe taking a little peek down the inside. Thinks he's going to be able to do it. Starting to move alongside here as he is now side by side as they enter turn number 1. He's going to make that pass. Robert Kahn probably letting up just a little bit to make things just a little bit easier on himself. And sometimes it's easier just to let them go. So you only lose 1 position. And next thing you know, if you're battling on the outside, you got somebody else on the inside, because the next person in row, Dalton Kilrow, as he's looking on to Robert Kahn and maybe try to get around him as well to try to move up there in the top 3.
The top third, as we see, Ty Marasco is definitely a good start and trying to go back to back. I guess 1 win wasn't enough for him. He's trying to get up there again here, but yeah, I mean it's possible to run in that second line. You can run side by side, but very, very, very seldom can you make any kind of defense from that outside line. If somebody gets to your inside, you're most likely gonna either lose your spot, or that car on the inside is maybe going to overdrive that corner a little bit, and you're both going to be into the wall. So it's really not a benefit to even try and send it on that second line just to try and defend that position, because most likely something bad's going to happen, or really best case scenario, you're going to lose a couple more positions. So it's better just to kind of concede, take your licks and get back in behind that guy, and then try and maybe run him down and make the pass and get back up there. But that second line, viable, but only basically for survival needs. I mean, it's not something you want to take as your driving line.
Yeah, and like I said, it's super early to make anything aggressive right now too, and I know these drivers strive to have like green flag runs, and I haven't talked about it yet, but pit entry could be a little difficult here. Tend to maybe carry a little bit too much speed sometimes, as it's a pretty short pit window, unless they're forcing them to use the pit entry on, what is it? Is it 3?
Access road, the access road in 3. And it's not really necessarily, even if you use the access road, that's not really the issue. Like, you can come out of 4 and there's plenty of time to get to the left to get into pit lane, so if you're on the track and you're coming in out of turn number 4, or even if you're using the access road, that's not really necessarily the issue of coming into pit road. Like Jimmy mentioned, it's how quick it comes up on you, and not the entry you see right there on the left. The entry is fairly easy. You can come off of turn 4 and even if you kind of forget to the last second, you can still cut over and get into pit road. But those cones are immediate, and they're before you even get into pit lane. You have to get it down to pit road speed by that time. So that's what makes it so difficult. It's a straight line in there, but if you're not used to pitting here at Indy, you're gonna get a black flag. You're gonna get a speeding or an unsafe entry into a pit lane. So it's something that's definitely worth practicing. Not just trying to turn some fast laps here. Any track, you want to practice at least once or twice coming into pit lane to get an idea of how much you can gain, how much you can lose under duress, under braking here, getting into the pits. But right now, Austin Cole can lose a little bit of time, and it's not going to matter. He is out to a 2-second lead over Ty Marasco in second. Robert Kahn, Dalton Kilrow, and Andrew Pileshi for your top 5. Then you got Caldwell, Garrett, Hilton, McNeese, and Meyer for your top 10.
Yeah, definitely interesting so far, as you can see the Skittles are starting to break up just a little bit into some groups. So you got obviously you have Austin out there doing his thing, trying to pull away on his own, which is possible here. You don't need that draft to stay out there, and maybe it's on Ty Marasco just a little bit to try to keep that clean air. So this little bit of gap here, maybe he feels comfortable with him being out there by a little over a second. He's in that area, and but the cars handle so much different, tucked up under one another.
Well, yeah, I mean, last lap we just talked about it. It was about a 2-second lead for Austin Call, and not sure if he's kind of backing off the pace here a little bit, maybe doing a little fuel saving. But a 56 flat that last lap compared to Ty Marasco 55.3, and even Robert Kahn in third there 55.1, and Dalton Kilrow 55.1. So these guys are reeling in Austin Call. I think maybe a little bit of fuel saving, a little bit of tire management from the two out front, and certainly he had the gap to do so. It's down now to 1 second here, so Marasco maybe getting a little bit of sniff a draft here pretty soon, and we'll see if he's gonna maybe tuck in behind the two, or if he's gonna try and get around as quick as possible and try and put a gap on himself. But it's been a good start for the boys here at VVR. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that Siren has to offer. And want to thank these series sponsors here: Fort Worth Screen Printing, Hilton Crafts and Designs, and Gold Line Guardians.
Yeah, it's sponsors. Sometimes they don't get enough. I mean, we mention them every week, but they don't. I hope they know how much each and every one of these drivers in the league in general really appreciates their support, so they can either have it broadcasted, or they can provide some sort of small reward, for competing, over the course of 22 weeks, I think the season is. Obviously it's a little bit longer with the extended breaks in between, but definitely worth hanging out and getting some good racing in, and good clean racing. So that's what a lot of these leagues strive to be. They don't want to be that official madness, as they call it, I guess. You get out there and people are just rattling on the radio, and everybody's a professional, and they got the lowest I ratings out there. It's quite comical sometimes, as I've learned to disconnect my push to talk button if I do run officials, because it just some of them just make no sense. And I got a passion for watching clean races, and going out there and trying to race clean myself. So I mean, nobody's perfect. I make mistakes. I've been penalized in league races for making a bonehead move, but not on purpose, just kind of you should have thought the other way. And
sometimes sucks to suck is what you're trying to say.
It just sucks to suck. You ran out of talent, or whatever it may be. But right now, the boys are not sucking to suck. They are been green now for 14 laps. It's Austin Call. We'll go up to here right now. We'll check him out here. You can see he's still out front over Ty Marasco, Dalton Kilrow, Andrew Paleschi, and Robert Kahn. And it looks like Maxwell Caldwell tagging along as well. So the top six drivers trying to pull away, and this isn't a bad strategy either, Carl. If you can keep each other in kind of check, and you don't mind riding around in second and third or fourth, you can find yourself in a pretty good situation. If you can get in that draft and save just half a lap of fuel, that's that much less fuel, and maybe you'll come out in front. So these drivers, got one fast repair, a few sets of tires, and right now they are 15 laps in. So looking good so far here at Indy.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a little bit of teamwork there between Marasco and Kilrow, trying to catch the back of the two of Austin Call, as Marasco had a little bit of a moment coming out of turn two, was able to collect it, keep it off the wall. But a chance for Kilrow to make the pass. He decided not to, but looks like we got a pass attempt back here for fourth position. Robert Kahn to the inside, and going to battle with Paleschi. Paleschi going to hang it out there. You see how close he gets to that wall out of turn number one. Again, it's why, in my opinion, it's just usually not the right call, but Paleschi hanging it out there, does not want to lose that position to Kahn, still battling side by side. And you see right behind, Maxwell Caldwell has chosen to follow Robert Kahn, and now Kahn's going to make that pass. Paleschi's going to fall another position back, as he's going to be back there now in sixth position. Still in the lead, though, Austin Call, as we're about to complete lap number 16, and we'll see what these drivers have to do for pit strategy, or how long can they go on this fuel. I mean, typically we see 2-3 pit stops here in the virtual velocity racing, and a track like here at Indy, I mean, you're on the gas for so much of the track, and you see DJ Mitchell already coming in here on lap number 15. That you burn through this fuel very, very quickly.
Yeah, you go through it faster than you think you do, and obviously coming down, maybe the car started feeling bad for him. Who knows? Or just timing out his pit stops here tonight. But the Kodak machine coming down, I guess a good throwback to Ernie Irvin. Just getting back out there, just taking fuel and getting back out there and see what he can do. As we are now, let's see, go back live, Jim. As we are now on lap 17 of 80. So we talked about when drivers could come in. You know, is this a small, short, undercut gonna pay out for the 4? So we'll go back with the 4 of DJ Mitchell. Because now he's a lap down. So I don't think he took tires, so he'll probably keep falling back. But he's already a lap down. But he won't have to be a lap down when the other drivers decide to take the pit stop here. But right now, 18 out of 80. I'm kind of curious how long they can actually go, Carl.
Yeah, I mean, you figure they're going to want to go to at least lap number 20, and at that point you want to try and get to 21, 22, just give that little bit of buffer for one less pit stop here on the race. But I would think as soon as they cross that 20 threshold, we may see the first round of pit stops here. I think it's definitely going to be at least a 2 pit stop race, if not a 3, depending on how everything plays out here. But right now, we got to take her to the pits from that top 5. Second place, Ty Marasco bringing it in. Not sure if he got it wood up enough. Not sure if that's going to be an unsafe entry or not. He kept it on that inside there. That was a heck of a save coming into the pits. Brandon Muir going to follow in behind him there from 13th position. He's going to bring it in. But our first taker just shy of 20 laps, and you wonder if that's why Austin Call was kind of backing off the pace there a little bit. Maybe he realized we need to get to at least lap number 20 here, and right now they're only on lap 19, so maybe a bit of an early pit stop there for Marasco. Hopefully he's got something up his sleeve for the rest of this race, but I think you need to really kind of stretch this thing out if you can, at least to lap number 20 to make it for a better situation later on in the race.
Yeah, well, maybe they're sitting at, 20, 21, 22, maybe 23 laps, and, coming in for that undercut. If they take tires and can get out and stay on the lead lap and be able to pull away. So Marasco's out. I'll go back to Marasco. He is still in front of the leaders. He's coming out of the pits right now, coming down out of the pit lane as the drivers are, or the leaders are coming through turns 1, now coming through 2. You see also who else? Somebody else was coming out right there. Yeah, I think that's the 00 back there by Austin. Can't see who that was. I think that is who's the red car? That's at the 13.
The red car.
Yeah,
that's
13.
13 there
Yeah,
of Brandon Muir. Yeah, he came in at the same time as Ty Marasco.
Ooh.
Really interesting call, as it looks like Marasco and Mir deciding to take tires on their first pit stop here. I'm really surprised to see that, and we got a battle for the lead up here. Austin Call in the wall, out of 4, where we talked about the turn 4 wall. Claims his first victim that we've seen. Not sure if it's claimed others along the way, but Call banging into the wall there pretty good off of turn number 4. It's going to give over the lead to Dalton Kilroe now, as we're starting to see some more pit stops. We're now past lap number 20. We're on lap number 21. I would expect to see quite a few drivers coming into the pits from here on out. But as it stands, we got a 4-car breakaway now, as Austin Call is going to fall back just a little bit, maybe still within reach of this draft, but certainly some damage to that right front Aflac machine.
Yeah, definitely not what he wanted to do for sure. And I'll go ahead and see if I can get in here quick to see how that car's handling. Go into the roll bar here. I can get a pretty good shot of him driving. Looks like he's able to kind of hang on to it. Might have lost some speed, but he's going to bring it down in here with the rest of the group, which is probably a good call. Oh, look at the sliding in front of him. You see them yellow cones, how quick they come up.
Yeah, that's really, again, that's the biggest thing. You got to get that thing woed up really quickly. Normally, you don't see those yellow cones until you're in the pits, and some it's a good distance into the inside those walls there for pit lane till you get to those yellow cones, and you actually have to be woed down to pit speed. But here, it is even before you get to those walls, and that's why you need to really kind of row. Has stayed out a little bit longer than everyone else. There's the top 8 right now have yet to come into the pits, but Robert Kahn, Maxwell Caldwell, Andrew Pileshi, they all came in on that last lap right there. So Kilroe stretching it out here a little bit longer. We'll see what that's going to do for the undercut or overcut, which is going to play out a little bit better. But Kilroe now into the pits from the lead. We'll see if Len McNeese, now he is going to come into the pits as well. And I would think we're going to see the rest of them come in here. Yeah, you got Michael Taylor, Cade Green, Tim Lee, Michael Pratt, Michael Rideout, Eric Blunt. The rest of the field that have yet to pit are all coming in on this lap right here. So this will complete the first round of pit stops here. They'll complete the cycle here as Dalton Kilroe gets to his pit stall. And taking a look now at Ty Marasco coming out of turn number 4. Remember, he pit on lap number 18. So unless he's got something going on that I don't know, he's short when it comes to the pit cycle right now. So he's going to try and figure something out. But he is going to be coming around turn number 2. Going to be really close here on the backstretch. You take a look at the inside right there. That is Dalton Kilroe. And Marasco is just going to get by the 41, but you see a little bit of a gap right there in between the 1, the 41, and then back to the 21 of Robert Kahn. We'll see if those 3 can reel in Dalton Kilroe, because up front here, the 1 of Marasco does have fresh tires, and that's why you see him out there. He's trying to get away as quick as possible, utilize those fresh tires, and maybe that's the game plan. Maybe he knows he's going to have to come in one more time, so he wants to try and use up those tires in these early stops to just run away and hide.
Yeah, I mean, coming in, like, he came in 2 laps early, or, well, 4 laps early, but, so he's just going to have to, obviously just run 20 laps, this time, and then maybe 21 laps next time, and then, like, try to make up for them 2 laps that he came in early, and just kind of getting that undercut, get the pressure on the other drivers to push it, get them to burn up their tires, to try to catch you, and try to run away just a little bit. Make them, start unsettling the other drivers, and that could be his his game plan. Just run a little bit of pressure, pressure on the other drivers, and if he's not the fastest one here tonight, it can be some of these other drivers that are just going to push it that much harder. And we've seen Austin Call come in, and I don't think Carl he took his fast repair, because I thought I seen damage still on that front right, so hopefully not affecting him too much. The tire's exposed, so maybe won't be so great being out in the front, but maybe saving it as he pulls along. He's getting by Garrett there. I think Garrett's he's a lap down, so something happened with Garrett. I'm not sure what, but he's found himself looks like a lap down to the field.
Yeah, not sure what exactly happened. I didn't see anything happen to him. I don't see any kind of longer pit stop for him, unless he tried to stretch it out and maybe ran out of fuel is the only thing I could think of.
Fuel, maybe coming in the pits too hot. I mean, I thought everybody made it clear. I don't have my other app up to kind of tell me if anybody's got flags or not, so kind of wondering. I did switch over, and I know if you just look in the iRacing results or standings or whatever, if they get a black flag for like coming in the pits too hot, it'll show a black flag there real quick, so you have to be quick a bit before actually pulling the pits, and it goes away. But right now it is Ty Marasco, last week's winner, out front of Dalton Kilroe.
This is the guy I was about to say. I don't know how Ty Marasco didn't get any kind of penalties on that pit entry. I mean, seen him slide sideways. Somehow he got it woed down enough. Somehow he kept it inside the lines there, and it's got him out in front. He's got a 5.7 second lead right now over Dalton Kilroe. And Dalton Kilroe has got the other three of Maxwell Caldwell, Andrew Pileshi, and Robert Kahn all right behind him. So the top five kind of really breaking away from the rest of the field here, because from Robert Kahn back to Austin Call now, who's still got that damage, it is 3.6 seconds. And he is right there with Brandon Muir, another one that pit on lap number 18. So some different strategies here as we've seen, looks like 3 or 4 drivers coming in before lap number 20. But the rest of the field trying to stretch it at least to 21. Quite a few stretch it there to 22 laps. And looks like Robert Smith stretched it all the way to lap number 24. But fortunately for Smith, he's down 1 lap. So maybe stretching out to 24, that might have been a situation where he ran out of fuel, because that's a pretty far way to stretch it.
I mean, hey, you gotta try something, right? It was probably he qualified in the back and was running in the back, so maybe just out there trying to get some time in the car, and just felt good at the time, and he figured he'd try to maybe sneak one in there, maybe a caution get flown, and catch everybody out there in a worse position than he is. But swerving down to the inside as some of the drivers in the back getting a little loose as that wall comes up quick. So the 08 taking kind of giving enough space. It almost looked like he was making a major evasive maneuver, but definitely doing a great job keeping everything going straight here tonight so far. With Ty Marasco out front, now out to a 8.5 second lead. Carl, he is just kind of running away at the moment.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a different strategy, and you look at it. He's out there. He's got those fresh tires. When he comes in for the next pit stop, it probably will behoove him to take another set of tires. This is his other set right there as well. But I mean, it's with the way the pit stops are playing out, we're probably going to be looking at 3 pit stops here tonight, possibly 4 for these guys that are coming in on like 18 laps. So they may need a splash and go here, as we got a pass for second place. Maxwell Caldwell to the inside of Dalton Kilroe into 1. Tries to use that apron to help him get around there, but now it's looking like Kilroe is going to hold him off. For guys like Robert Smith, yeah, I mean, you mentioned just staying out there, just maybe felt comfortable. Maybe it's a situation like I sometimes have when I'm in the endurance cars. I'm starting to turn some fast laps at the end there. All of a sudden, on my end lap, it's my fastest lap, and I'm in the green, and you just don't want to go in. So he's got no other teammates like you guys tell me, no, you have to pit for fuel. He just didn't want to. He just wanted to stay out
another lap, bro. You need to come in. Yeah. I mean, it could be something like that. Usually with the ovals, though, they're pretty consistent about tire wear falling off, and I just I don't know how true it is. I just seen something the other day saying something about the GT3s kind of getting a new aero model. Ooh, and they're touching a little bit here. That's Caldwell and Kilroe battling out here for P number 2 as they're trying to swap back and forth. Caldwell continuing to try to get underneath Kilroe. So will Kilroe let him go by, as we're only on lap 30 of 80 and plenty of more racing to go.
Yeah, little testy there. I think a little bit of a pinch move, and then a little bit of a little kiss from behind as a reminder and a payback, like, hey, I'm right here. You can't be making those kind of moves. But Caldwell will now take the spot. We'll see if there's anything that the 41 can do. As we look back here, looks like Austin Call, damage be damned. I mean, he's got that number 2 running pretty well, running these guys down. He's back up to 4th. He's made it past Robert Kahn, let alone just reeling him in to get up there. But now, again, Austin Call is another one of those drivers that did take tires. So we'll see how that is going to play out here, and see if, as we get really close out of turn number 2, or turn number 1, heading into turn number 2.
That's a shot.
A bit of a shove into 2 as well. And that's going to allow the 2 to get up there and make another pass, and a pretty easy one here. Can he utilize those new tires? That's definitely what he wants to do right now, being Austin Call. But out front, 12.3 second lead as these boys do a little battle there for second place. It is allowing Ty Marasco to just walk this field.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give each other room, and the beating, the banging only goes so far, and there's obviously you get them runs and you're like, all right, man, you're holding us up, and then you go for a run and you can't quite get your nose in there. So, a lot of drivers, they tend to just like touch the back bumper to kind of unsettle the driver, and hopefully they miss their turn, like the turn in, or they're braking. But kill. Oh, I thought I heard somebody.
It sounded
around.
like some screeching there. It might have been the 81 of Paleshi, and it is indeed going to bring out a caution. Paleshi, not sure if he got help or not, but he loses in turn number 1. Oh, got some help there from Brandon Meir. And the thing just kept sliding on him. Looks like he kept it off the wall, and luckily nobody was around him. Mike Casey just going by on the outside there. Paleshi gets it straightened back up. But the yellow will fly here.
Oh, that's gonna mix stuff up.
And yeah, I mean, those drivers like Marasco, I mean, he absolutely loved this this clean air out front, utilizing those tires. But now, I mean, I guess it helps out fuel-wise to maybe get him back on the same strategies as everybody else. Won't have to make that extra pit stop, but man, some of these drivers that already took a set of tires, they could be watching a lot of other drivers take tires here and really start to walk away. As again, these guys only have 2 sets of tires in the pits to use. They can use them whenever they want, but use them at the wrong time, and you've seen what can happen. I mean, Ty Marasco used his out to a 12-second lead, but now tables could be turned.
Yeah, if I was one of those drivers that did not take tires in the last pit stop, I would be taking them now. Obviously, you're going to be able to come in, top off of fuel, you'd stretch out there, you get out there. You're still looking like, it doesn't look like they can make it. Like, obviously, they'll have to stop again, obviously. But, with 22 laps, that's only taken them to 55, 56 right now. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, if they only have 1 set left. So, do you take them now? Do you wait a little bit? Do you stay out if you took tires and just come in and then just make your stop when you need to and, get that another undercut, So I don't know, Carl. I think if I already changed tires, I might think about staying out, as this will take me over to the halfway mark. I'll save that fuel that I came in early on. I just kind of suck it up. I'm going to be on used tires for a while, so I mean, they're not too bad. I mean, they're 14 laps in, so they should be fine for another, 18, 19 laps. They get them to cool down. So I don't know. I think I would have stayed out if I took tires.
I can see the possibility. I kind of wonder, because you're going to be coming in around lap 40 anyway. So I mean, if you stay out here, you're probably only going to be staying out for another maybe 8 to 10 laps once we go green. So it's a risk. But yeah, I can definitely understand. I can see how you would want to consider that, because right now the top 3, Marasco, Call, and Khan, all out there on used tires. And for Khan, I don't think he took tires on that first pit stop, so he may be trying to play a bit different strategy here, and I don't mind it. If he can somehow stay up with these guys on this restart, he's got 3 guys at the front that maybe will hold up the field a little bit for him. Or actually, 2 other guys at the front trying to hold up the field. If he's got 2 sets of tires still in the pits, he can take them on these last 2 pit stops, because right now we're still looking at 2 more pit stops before the end of this race. You're going to have to pit now somewhere around the the 55 lap range, and you're still going to have to come in for at least a splash and go before the end of this race. I don't think there's any way you can save this much fuel. I mean, you've seen.
I mean, we did have somebody take 24 laps, so it just depends on how hard you save.
I guess you can go that distance if you want to, but I don't think Robert Kahn is going to be trying that. If he's still got 2 sets of tires in the pits, he's going to want to try and go hard.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the tires, I mean, yeah. Ovals is such a tricky thing, and obviously putting a limitation on tires makes you think strategy, and you see Dalton Kilroe going back down into the pits, maybe to top off on fuel. Andrew Paleshi, Len McNeese, and a few others going back down into the pits to top off. See Garrett's going in as well, so a whole different strategy here for some of these drivers, and you're also putting yourself, towards the back of the field, or at least in the middle of the field. So you have to be careful coming back through, and if you have new tires, now you got to burn them up coming through the field again. So a lot of different strategies going on right now, Carl. I'm kind of curious which one's going to work.
Well, we got a long way to finish this thing up. I mean, it is not even halfway yet, so there's a lot of different strategies that can play out in this thing. Right now, it is Ty Marasco, last week's winner, out front. Austin Call in second place. You got Maxwell Caldwell, Robert Kahn, and Mike Hasty for your top 5, as Hasty is up 15 spots from the start of the race. Tyler Hilton in 6th, Michael Pratt up 14 spots in 7th, Chris Schuster up 11 spots in 8th, TJ Mitchell, Tim Lee for your top 10 hits. He hasn't been getting up there too quickly, and maybe we'll see if it pays off, but definitely got an awesome looking paint scheme, and certainly for all those out there, want to wish everyone a happy belated Memorial Day, and a thank you and a shout out to all those who have served and lost, the members of the military, the members of the families that have lost loved ones. Thank you for your sacrifice. It's certainly it needs to be known, and it needs to be out there, and it needs to be understood what Memorial Day really means.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard time, and I know they pull it a holiday, and as a retired veteran, I've done my time, and I get the thank you for your service. Well, today's not that day.
No, exactly.
Thank me on this day when I'm pushing up dirt. But for now, I'm still live and kicking, and we're gonna keep on going, and I appreciate it. Obviously, we appreciate it. Not everybody can spend the time in the military, and as it's more rigorous than some can think. Some think of it as like camp for like 20-some years, and it can get to the point where you have a lot of fun, and then there's times where it sucks, or your life's in danger, you're getting shot at, or you got pirates out there, you got missiles flying out there, you're out on the flight deck and manning up jets to drop bombs and all that stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy things that can happen while you're out there, but right now obviously we always thank those individuals, and we want to recognize obviously the ones that were lost for the greater good here in the land of the free, and in anywhere else actually as well. And on Memorial Day, I like to thank all the people that serve in some capacity to the public, like all the people that helped in like 9/11 and stuff like that ended up losing their lives as well, firefighters, the policemen, and stuff like that. Kind of branch out, because they might not be part of the military, but they do just as much service to the community, here local, or stateside, I should say. So, but either way, we're at Indianapolis. We're at lap 37. Ty Marasco in, and you can hear the lift of that throttle.
Yeah, and it's certainly, again, we're going to see what kind of strategies play out here, as Marasco and Call have been able to hold off the rest of the crew so far that have the new tires. Robert Kahn, not so much. He is starting to drop like a rock. He is back there now in 8th position, and maybe he is one that was listening to Jimmy and seeing that maybe you can stretch this thing out and make only one more pit stop, as he starting to fall back to a little bit. Good battle here between Hasty and the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell for 4th and 5th position. Hasty going to move himself up there, as he's now up 17 spots from the start. And then Michael Pratt right behind him, trying to do the same. If he passes Maxwell Caldwell, he'll also be up 17 spots. Starting to get a little bit racing here. Still got plenty of time to go here. Again, not even at the halfway point yet. Right now completing lap number 38, but 2 wide, almost 3 wide here back in the field. The 81 of Paleshi trying to make up for lost time here, working his way through the field. He's got some fresh, actually he doesn't have some fresh tires. He is just making some passes the hard way, as it's like the 98 of Taylor in the wall here a little bit, collects it up, not going to have any yellow, but certainly a little bit of a scraped up number 98 there for Taylor.
Yeah, getting a little tight there coming out of 4 and getting up into that wall. So at treacherous corner, trying to get down them long straightaways. Obviously, there's like 4 straightaways at this track because there's a small, very small short shoot in between them, and gives you the opportunity to kind of let up just a little bit and kind of reset that car, especially if you had a bad turn. But see a little bit of damage there on the right front. I think that's Cade Green. Yeah, back there with Chris Schuessler. See a little bit of damage, so maybe kissing the wall just a little bit there for the 19 as he's in a battle there with Chris Schuessler. And you can see Robert Kahn falling all the way back to P16. So obviously trying to, rolling the dice. I think he's rolling the dice, Carl, here, and hoping that there's another caution. He's got new tires. I think everybody else out there got new tires, but if he's got 2 sets, because right now they'd be looking at probably another pit stop right after this, and be able to take tires both times. So we'll see what that 20 does here as he's, obviously made his decision. Losing a lot of track time here on lap 40 as we just take the halfway mark.
Yeah, right now we're in that window that if you come into the pits, you'll be good to go on one more pit stop. So I mean, if you want to split this thing up into a couple of equal segments, you could come in around this time, or maybe around lap 45 to try and make it to the end. But I think these drivers are going to want to try and run out as far as they can. Did not see my Ty Marasco drop as quickly as he did, but these drivers with the newer tires really starting to eat them up now. Austin Call is back to 5th. Ty Marasco all the way down here to 10th position right now, just trying to hold on. And this could be where we've seen the ones start to drop. Here's the 72 of Hasty down to the inside, as that is the pass for the lead. Austin Call, he's got some older tires as well, but we've seen he's got some speed in that too, damage or not, as he made the pass. And then from there, the one just started to fall back pretty quickly. But we are now officially halfway through tonight's race. 40 laps in the books. We have 40 more to go. And Mike Hasty and Michael Pratt both up 19 spots respectively, one in first, one in second, as they started back there in 20th and 21st. So can he make passes at Indy? Yeah, he can make passes pretty easily, clearly.
I'm just hoping that they're not out of tires, Carl. I mean, if they can stretch it to 58 or 59, they're good, but they definitely have a few more laps to get underneath their belt. So I believe the magic number is about 23 with saving fuel, and like I said, I heard Ty Marasco lifting, so which would mean that he is actually actively trying to save here. You can hear right now he's not on the gas. And now he's on the gas.
Brandon Muir there had a big moment off turn number 2, but he collected it and saved it. But yeah, I mean, it's, like you said, that you're kind of looking at a magic number right now, and I agree. I think it's, if you're in full-on fuel save mode, I think you may be able to stretch out to 23. I don't think 24 is really in the cards, and I think, again, we've seen, I forget who it was now at this point, run 24 laps, but it looked like it was pretty slow attempt at that, and end up being a lap down because of it. So you can't give up too much, because you want to save a pit stop. You don't want to come in for that splash and go, but eventually you'll be going so slow that stop and go is actually going to be quicker. So it's a lot of trying to figure out, a lot of calculating, and a lot of decision making that you have to make every single lap here to try and figure out if it's actually worth it or not. But as it stands right now, it is Hasty, Pratt, Hilton for your top 3. Maxwell Caldwell and DJ Mitchell rounding out the top 5. Then Kilroe right out. Paleschi, Call, and Lee for your top 10. And since we are just past the halfway point, Jimmy, I think it's about time we let these engines roar here and give everyone in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it.
A little love to hear it. Sights and Sounds comes to an end with a caution here on lap 48, as it looks like Michael Pratt goes off track. So go back and check out to see what happened. Looks like Caldwell getting into Pratt, sending him sideways. Not much damage, just down on the grass, obviously, and sideways right there at the on track. So Iracing throws a caution, and we're gonna slow things up. It's definitely gonna mix things up here. As a lot of drivers, as we heard, as we stepped on board or on top of their vehicles, you heard the lifting of the throttle or just shutting off of the engine. So fuel saving may be out the window, and you're going to see a lot of drivers probably coming in, topping off, getting in tires, especially if they have 2 sets. But you never know. Some people might be willing to just kind of go in there and get gas only.
Well, we see a couple drivers staying out as Maxwell Caldwell electing to stay out. He's going to take over the race lead. Austin Call also staying out in second place. See Robert Kahn right there, right behind, and I believe he is a lap down. And yeah, there we go, getting a wave around now. So Kahn will be back on the lead lap. Oh, he did pit on lap 44. That would be why. And just getting caught up at the wrong time right there. Looks like John Garrett maybe staying out as well, but I don't, unless he already made his pit stop and coming out there. But Maxwell Caldwell, Austin Call staying out here. Mike Hasty is going to lead the field out of pit lane. Tyler Hilton, Dalton Kilgore for your top 5, then Paleshi, Mitzel, McNeese, Lee, and Blunt. But this caution here at lap number 50 means that they are not going to be able to make it to the end. This is going to get pretty interesting here to see how this thing is going to play out. But you're not going to be able to make it.
Yeah, so I can see a few drivers, staying out, like Caldwell and Call, and maybe running a few more laps to make sure that they can, get to that point where they can come in, take their tires. They'll be up front. They'll probably stay on the lead lap, but hopefully they'll have new tires, and be able to basically hopefully push them cars as hard as they can, and find themselves at a huge undercut where some of these drivers have to come in and just for a splash. But that time down pit lane, trying to get into pits as best you can cause problems. So we'll see how things turn out here as another caution flies, but just a simple caution, just a little eager there from Maxwell Caldwell trying to make a move there on
that wasn't Michael Pratt. Michael Pratt, yeah.
It's good. Left my mind.
The other one that cuts up a ton of positions, or that was up a ton of positions.
But Mike Hasty's still up there in P number 3, like you said, first one out of the pits. So maybe just fuel only to get him to a certain point and get back out there to so he doesn't have to save fuel. So we'll see. Like I said, there's a lot of things on the table here on what these drivers need or want to do.
Okay, Maxwell Caldwell does have 1 win on the season. Austin Call does not, and you're looking to see if the 2 can come in here and kind of upset everyone. Got the car on the front row. Was the fastest in practice. He's been fast all night, but he's got to get around Maxwell Caldwell, who has been hunting for the front for quite some time, and now he finds himself there. Mike Hasty, another one that has yet to he's yet to get to victory lane this season, and kind of the best of the rest of the guys that have him. I mean, he's got out of at least the first 10 races. Again, the 11 races have been run, but the 11th race was not put into the standings yet, but had 4 top 5s, 6 top 10s out of those first 10 races. So he's been very consistent putting that car up at the front, but the 72 has yet to get all the way up to the top and get that first win of the season. So we'll see if tonight could be the time for that 72 to go from 20th to 1st, as he started out way back there in the field. Pace car will be in this time by, it's going to complete lap number 51, so we've still got another 39 laps to go in this thing before we crown our winner. It is Maxwell Caldwell that is going to be the control car. Austin Call, Mike Hasty, Tyler Hilton, Dalton Kilrow for your top 5. The pace car is in. And we're going to get this thing back under a green flag racing. Hopefully we get green to the end to see how these fuel strategies play out as Caldwell back on that loud pedal.
Like a good old start with everybody too wide, shifting around, trying to make some positions as they head down into turn number 1. You see they are too wide in a few spots here, trying to make things work, trying to get those positions early, especially on them newer tires. Obviously got to get them warmed up just a little bit for them to stick, and a lot of jockeying around back here, and we'll just kind of move out here just a little bit so you can kind of get a better look.
Yeah, trying to take a look back and find there's the 21 Robert Kahn. I was trying to see when he came in. He did come in and take a splash of fuel under that last caution, since he got the lucky dog to get around there. But I believe he's got some new tires from lap number 44. Didn't see too many takers of new tires. You got it looks like Gordon Larson, Ty Marasco, and Mike Rideout Ty Marasco, Mike Rideout, and Chris Schuessler taking tires on this last pit stop. A little bit longer of a pit stop for DJ Mitzel. Not sure if that trying to get my lines here in order, and actually Michael Pratt. Not sure if that means 2 tires or if it was just a longer pit stop for him, but we'll see how this thing is going to play out. Could just be taking some damage from the little bit of a wreck and spin that he was in. Mike Hasty now is at the front of this field. He makes the pass. He's got Dalton Kilrow right behind him, but you see the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell starting to fall back here a little bit, but Hasty to the front of this field on lap number 53.
Yeah, it's good to see the 72 finally get out front here and lead some laps. As like you said, he's been a pretty consistent driver all season long and trying to get himself a win. But some other drivers in the back there, obviously Michael Pratt getting involved in that last incident, finds himself all the way back in P number 5 and working his way through the field. So maybe taking tires when he came in. And you see behind DJ Mitzel, you got Tim Lee and the 2 of Austin Call down on that inside, getting around the 02 of Tyler Hilton. So moves are happening, Carl. Moves are happening, and people are jockeying around for position. It looks like Khan had to slide back there just a little bit right there in front of Cade Green. You see Ty Marasco back here now in the probably an unwanted position. Be careful going
buried a little bit further in the field right now, and it's starting to get a little bit racier here. 26 laps to go. Certainly plenty of 2 wide racing, and going into turn number 1 here. See the 2 of Austin Call, one of those drivers that elected to stay out, is now back to 13th position. All these drivers are still going to have to make one more pit stop before this thing is over. So it'll be interesting to see how and when the drivers come in there. I mean, I think if you're one of these guys that pit under the last caution here, I mean, you got to kind of make a decision. You got to feel, am I going to run this out as far as possible in hopes that a caution comes out if you have a set of tires left in the pits? Or do you come in early? Do you come in, as soon as you're in your pit window, and do you come in another 4 or 5 laps, get those fresh tires and put down some blazing laps and build up what could be a huge buffer by the end of this thing? And yeah, you see the 94 on the front right, definitely got some the fender pushed in there as Tim Lee makes a pass. And how about this? Don't show him on the screen here. Don't want to jinx him, but Tim Lee up in the top 5.
Yeah, Tim Lee making moves here, obviously being able to get around there. And you can see Len McNeese ducking out to try to either let people by or go by him down on the inside, as Caldwell is slow. And you're going to see the 20 there, Robert Kahn, duck down there in front of the 84, kind of to get Ty Marasco off his bumper. But Ty, with probably some newer tires, is going to go ahead and get down to the inside there, as he's been following Robert Kahn up to the front here, as they restarted towards the back of the pack here and already sitting up there in the top 10.
Yeah, both of them now about to be, both are in the top 6 once the one gets around at Tim Lee. They're both on some fresh tires as well. That definitely helps. Ty Marasco taking his tires on lap number 49 under the pit stop. On lap number 44 is when the 21 of Robert Kahn got his tires, and then unfortunately he had the caution happen right after it, so he had to get the lucky dog to get back up into the mix. But out at the front of this field now, it's no longer Mike Hasty. It is Dalton Kilbro in the lead. Remember Andrew Pileshi having that early incident, sliding a little bit sideways? He's up into second place, and he is right back up into the mix of this thing. It's why he is up there in the point standings with Dalton Kilbro. Mike Hasty slides back to third. Michael Pratt, as that was close, if not into the wall there for the 81. But Mike Hasty, Michael Pratt, and Robert Kahn for your top 5. Then you got Marasco, Lee, Mitchell, Green, and Caldwell for that top 10.
Yeah, they smacked the wall there pretty good, the front and the rear. So Pileshi pushing that car there as well. So not going to be happy with them tires after too many corners like that. But Dalton Kilbro able to kind of pull away at the moment. As he is out front over Andrew Pileshi now by a little over a second. So out of that draft window, no longer can Pileshi save fuel. Now he has to drive, and you get that clean air. You're used to being behind somebody in the dirty air, where your car is usually tight going through the corners. Now all of a sudden you're loose, so you definitely need to adjust for that. So it's probably what happened there with Pileshi getting a little bit sideways. But Michael Pratt back into P number 3 with that number 77 here, as we got 22 laps to go. So we're in that window, that fuel window, Carl. Now that anybody comes in right now can make it the rest of the way.
From here on out, it's go time right now when it comes to pit stops. So we'll see if we have any early takers to come in there. Looks like Glenn McNeese is going to do just that. We'll see if he's got the tires to try and take and maybe short pit everybody here and start working his way through the field, through the pit cycle. And it's to me, this is a really good way to do so. If you're having trouble passing guys out there on the track, which it can be difficult sometimes here at Indy. I know we talked about Mike Hasty, Michael Pratt moving their way up through a ton of cars here tonight, but passing, it can be a long, arduous process to pass just one car out here. So if you can do it through pit cycle, it's huge. If you can get out there, get those tires like it looks like Glenn McNeese has just done. He's going to get lapped right now, but that's not what his concern is. His concern is just get out there, put in some fast laps, and then once this pit cycle falls all the way through, he should see himself up there in a pretty good position.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're gonna go a lap down, but then new tires should be pretty good here. Right now they're running 55.6s. Len McNeese's best lap is a 54.6, so able to be a little faster than what their leaders are running right now. So fastest car on the track last lap was Ty Marasco with a 54.8, I believe. Yep. So you can see Andrew Pileshi bringing the 81 down in, realizing that maybe he needs to come in, get that fuel, and maybe the tires needed to maybe possibly win this thing, because he almost smacks the wall there coming down pit lane. So the 81 definitely maybe the tires not too happy. So but we're going to see the 81 at least come in and get the rest of the fuel for the rest of this race.
And again, if you have a set of tires in the pits, this is your chance to get in there and utilize them to their fullest. You're going to be out there. You're going to be faster than everybody else, and we'll see how these drivers kind of work their way through the field. Already did have quite a few drivers come into the pits. DJ Mitchell, Len McNeese, Maxwell Caldwell, Austin Call, all coming into the pits, as has looks like Eric Blunt also, and Andrew Pileshi right now is the highest running driver that is good to go to the end, pitting on lap number 60, and he is back there in 14th position. But the highest running driver that's already made his pits now, Mike Hasty, into pit lane to make his final pit stop of the race. We'll see where he comes out. So Dalton Kilbro is going to enjoy this lead right now, 2.3 seconds while he is out front, and I'm sure he's out there saving a little bit of fuel as well, as you know, you're good to go to the end, but you don't need to take a full tank of fuel. So any little bit that you can save, even with whether you're taking tires or not, you want to take as little fuel as possible.
I mean, it doesn't take long to get a little splash of fuel, so, you know, maybe thinking if he does have a set of tires, maybe just taking 2 so he doesn't have to take that full time for, like, if you have a full tank. Because usually, you know, your rights will go up, your lefts go up, and then you're waiting for fuel for like a second or 2 before you're able to kind of pull away in these ARCA cars. So, you know, if you can just only need a splash, the right will go up, the tires go on, the car comes down, you drive away. So, and it's hard to time that off. But Maxwell Caldwell trying to get in that inside, making it 3 wide with Len McNeese on the outside, down underneath that white line, makes it stick, gets around Dalton Kilrow. So Maxwell Caldwell trying to move back forward again as he's in P17, and he was unlapped himself. So obviously a big move and something that he wanted to make sure happened. So now it's kind of on Dalton Kilrow when to come in. You know, obviously these are the drivers that you're kind of watching out for that don't have to stop again. So those are the ones you need to make sure you get by. And yeah, speaking of which, here comes the 41.
Yeah, I mean, he probably kind of the warning shots were getting fired around him there as he was kind of getting bullied by those guys that have those fresh tires, and realizing how much time he was actually losing. Now decides to bring the 41 into pits, but still plenty of other cars that need to come in and make their final pit stop. Andrew Pileshi still in the catbird seat for the cars that have come into the pits. Again, we'll see where it all shakes out for the 81, especially when it comes to Dalton Kilrow, as Kilrow now into his pit stall. Pileshi out of the final corner, and it looks like the 41 still in there. So Pileshi is going to take over the lead of this race. Now the question is, does he have enough tire to hold off the 41 of Kilrow? Because I don't believe Pileshi took any tires. If anything, he took only 2 right side tires. So we'll see how it plays out. Kilrow's going to come out in ninth place, but more importantly, that is second in the running for the guys that are good to go to the end. The top 7 still need to pit, and now it's only the top 6 as Tyler Hilton going to bring the 02 down into pit lane. I want to once again thank everyone out there for tuning in to CRN here tonight. Hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. And I want to thank our series sponsors, Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs for everything that they do here for the Virtual Velocity Racing ARCA series.
And definitely interesting here is you know, Dalton Kilrow comes out there and what's soon to be P4 at the moment. You know, obviously the other drivers in up front, the top 6 still need to pit. Ty Marasco, Michael Pratt, Mike Rideout, Cade Green, Schussler, Taylor, all still were in on lap 49, and to go 31 laps is pretty much impossible. So with the size of this track and the amount of fuel that they need. So you see Pratt and Green coming in right now, giving up 5th and 6th. It's just where will they come out when they're done here? As you see, Michael Pratt putting tires on as well. So rights were already on, lefts were on and down away they go. So definitely probably needed more time for tires than they did for fuel. So hope they should be good to go though to the rest of the end of this race, as we only have 15 laps to go. And currently, Ty Marasco is your leader with Mike Rideout and Chris Schussler.
Well, you've seen when Dalton Kilrow came out of the pits, he was passed by Robert Kahn, and that's a very interesting and potentially important pass right there, as that puts Kahn in front of Kilrow. They both have fresh tires all the way to the end of this thing. Mike Hasty, though, is up there with fresh tires as well. So they're all trying to hunt down Andrew Pileshi, who has got about a 7-second lead on the threesome right here of Hasty, Kahn, and Kilrow. Those are the ones to kind of watch for the end of it, because the top 4 still need to pit. Marasco, Rideout, Schussler, and Taylor cannot make it to the end. Hasty goes a bit wide there. Going to cost them a position, maybe even 2 here out of turn number 4. See Khan trying to figure out who he needs to block down the front stretch, and he's going to move himself up into 6th place. But they got 6.6 seconds to run down Andrew Palesci. They got to get it done about a half a second a lap to get up to him and pass him.
Yeah, and you know, obviously they can't fight each other either as much as they want to get around each other. So hopefully nobody here like battles or them. You know, they don't want to battle, or they'll just end up basically giving Palesci the win totally altogether here. And obviously Palesci's gonna, if he took 2 tires, you know, that those 2 right side tires will probably wear out, or lefts, whatever he had inside the in his pit box. Yeah, definitely a great pit stop and decision right now by Palesci. It puts these drivers here that we're watching under the gun to save. But we'll go back in the field just a little bit. But back there with Austin Call and Maxwell Caldwell and Len McNeese, 10th, 11th, and 12th, as they're trying to work their way back up for to get back in that top 5.
We got 12 laps remaining in this race. Marasco still leads it, and you got to believe that the top 4 right now are just trying to ride this thing out as long as possible, hoping that a caution comes out. But Michael Taylor now is going to give up that battle and bring the 98 into pit lane. So it's going to leave 3 cars out front. You see Marasco getting passed there by Cade Green, getting himself back on the lead lap. So put 16 cars currently on the lead lap with what's going to be 11 laps to go this time by. Again, Marasco cannot make it to the end. There's no way that someone's going to be able to save 31 laps of fuel. That's a little crazy.
Yeah, you see Mike Taylor was in on lap 49, and he just came in the pits. So you can only think that these top 3 will be in within the next lap or 2. Try and maybe hope for a caution to kind of give them a chance. But I think it's inevitable. That when they come in, the time in the pit lane and to get their fuel to get back out there, they're going to fall them back, possibly, around the 10th or 15th position, depending on how much the drivers with the newer tires are able to make up.
Yeah, there we go. I'm back now. I was cut out there for a little bit for some reason, but back here in action, and we are coming back to the line here. It's going to be 10 laps to go. Marasco still has the number 1 out front, still has yet to come into the pits, and the same can be said for Mike Rideout and Chris Schuessler. The top 3 still chugging along here. Again, all hoping for a caution to keep them up there in the mix. Andrew Palesci still holding off the charge right now of Robert Kahn, Dalton Kilroe, and Mike Hasty as well. It is down to 4.3 seconds, so they're definitely chipping in to that little bit of a lead that Palesci had, but it's going to be tough to catch him by the end. I mean, he's seen some big chunks getting taken out, but that's going to eventually start to even off here a little bit as those newer tires start to wear down. So can they catch Palesci, as that could very well and most likely will be the battle for the win of this race. Taking a look once again at the standings for this season, and Palesci does have the 1 win to his credit. Dalton Kilroe, your winningest driver with 3 heading into tonight, and again Mike Hasty, the best of the rest, waiting for that first win of the season. So who's going to get it? Well, we have our 9th different winner through the first 12 races, or we're going to see another repeat winner here tonight. 9 laps to go before we decide this thing.
It's so Robert Kahn is trying to focus and trying to continue to close the gap there on Andrew Palesci. You got Dalton Kilroe right behind him here, I think at this point they know that the other cars probably gotta pit. Ty Marasco, Mike Rideout, Chris Schuessler should be pitting sometime here soon. The battle here right now, Kilroe's sitting in could potentially be a 3rd spot unless there's something in there. Nope, but here comes Mike Rideout Ty Marasco right now down pit lane.
Mike Rideout was about 12 seconds behind at Marasco, so we'll have to wait and see if he decides to come in as well. And yeah, Ty Marasco and Chris Schuessler in. But Mike Rideout is going to stay out at least for one more lap here as a 13. Going to try and come up there and unlap himself for the time being. But Andrew Paleschi could very well and will very well be your race leader as soon as Mike Rideout comes into the pits. He is now 2.9 seconds ahead of Robert Kahn. So Kahn and Kilroe maybe working together here. They have stretched out and left Mike Hasty in the dust. They have got about a 2.4 second lead over Mike Hasty. So this right here, man, to be in the battle for the win, because they are working together. At least they were reeling in Andrew Paleschi, but I think they're getting close enough now that Dalton Kilroe thinks, you know what, I have a chance to make a pass. I need to make a pass now.
On the wall. That did not help.
Collects it in there and is going to stay right there with the 41 into turn number 4. And I think if you're Robert Kahn, you got to stick with the 41 right now, and you may have to kind of get back in there and reclaim your spot at the top here, because they are catching Paleschi fast. I thought it was going to even out a little bit quicker than it is, but as it stands right now, they're going to catch Paleschi in about 3 laps here, and we'll have a battle to the end as we got 7 laps to go. Mike Rideout finally does come into the pits, so now we have our official running order. Everyone out there will be able to make it to the end of the race. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, because we're looking at some of the guys pin on lap number 59 and even 58. I mean, Len McNeese, if he's running hard, may have to save a little bit back there, pinning on lap number 58. But as it stands, everybody should be good to go to the end. 7 laps to go here. Paleschi in the lead, 2 seconds. Has he been saving it all? Did he need to save it all when it comes to fuel or tires? He's not going to be able to save for too much longer. Kilroe and Kahn running him down, but we got a 4-car gaggle right here. The 0-0 of Gordon Larson gets into the wall somehow. The call misses him, and we're going to keep this thing green. That could have very well have shaken things up very late here in the race. But 6 laps to go. Paleschi, Kilroe, Kahn, Hasty, and Marasco, the top 5.
Yeah, those numbers continue to kind of go down here. So we'll swap over here, back over here. Kilroe gives you the best numbers here for catching Paleschi, as they're still gaining that half a second a lap that they were that we talked about. They were able to close in by 7/10 a few laps ago, but still consistently closing in over a half a second a lap. It's, is there going to be enough tire left? If they catch them, are they going to have enough tire to get by, as they, obviously pushing these cars as hard as they can? It's a long time to push these cars and, keep the tires heated and whatnot. So Kilroe and Kahn trying to do everything they can. It looks like Kahn's starting to have a little bit of issues there following Dalton Kilroe around. So might be a few too many mistakes there for Robert Kahn in order to stay with Kilroe to battle for maybe a win here with only 5 laps to go.
Yeah, Kahn just pushing as much as he can and pushing it into the wall there a little bit. But I think they're going to catch Paleschi here in the next lap or so, and they're certainly going to be within the draft. Getting really racy throughout the field here, though, as you see right here. The 2-2s are going after each other. The 0-2 of Tyler Hilton and the 2 of Austin Call heading into the turn number 3. There's a battle for 8th and 9th position. Looks like Tyler Hilton going to use those fresher tires, about 5-lap fresher tires, and he's going to move himself up into 8th position here. So good run here for the 0-2. Paleschi is still in the lead, but it's down to 0.8 of a second. Dalton Kilroe in second. He's got about 0.8 of a second in between him and Robert Kahn, as Kahn is starting to drop off the pace. Hasty's still back there, hoping that somehow all 3 of these guys get mixed up here and he can finally claim that first win of the season. But if not, it's going to be yet another top 5, another good run for Hasty. Just not enough here late.
Yeah, just obviously just a little bit short here again tonight, and it's obviously it's good to see that he continues to have good success, but it's just with all the different amount of winners and the points jockeying around, definitely keeps him in the running. But definitely, hopefully, things will turn around for him as the season is down on the backside here of the season, and maybe trying to get himself a win before the season is up. But right before we go anywhere, it looks like Robert Kahn is falling off pace a little bit off of Dalton Kilroe. So Dalton Kilroe continues to close in on Andrew Pileshi. But before we finish that up, we'll go back and look at one more battle here with, I think it was Gordon Larson and Len McNeese battling out here, not too far apart, but coming down to the finish here, 3 laps to go. Where are we at Indy? The leaders battling for the finish.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be, you could say, a 2-man battle here for the win, but I think Kilroe has got all the cards at the right time here, and it's just when is he going to play them. Andrew Pileshi leads them down into turn number 1 as we have 5 miles left in this race, 2 laps, 8 corners, now only 7. And Kilroe is all over the backside of that 81. He's done a great job reeling him in. You can see he's got the tires to be able to turn down a little bit further into those corners. Pileshi's going to try and make it as hard as possible on him, make him go the long way around on the outside. We'll see if Pileshi tries even a little bit more and tries to use him up here a little bit. The 41 drives it in deep on that outside, makes it stick on that outside line, and the first real official outside pass that we've seen here tonight. He makes that second line work with those fresher tires and makes the hard way work. Pileshi trying to use that draft, trying to get back up there. Maybe he can get close enough to use the chrome bumper at some point to try and mix it up here a little bit. But final lap right now, white flag in the air. One more time around Indy. Pileshi does a good job getting it rotated through one, but just a little too much out of it. Gets into the wall in the short chute in between 1 and 2, and it's going to allow Kilroe to stretch out his legs here a little bit. He's got that loud pedal pushed all the way down, looking for win number 4 on the season, and very well could put him close to, if not into, the points lead here. But Pileshi is going to finish with another good run here tonight, coming home in second. If he can just hang on right there, as they got a lap car that they have to deal with going through the final corners here. Dalton Kilroe out of turn number 4, and it's going to be number 4 wins here for Dalton Kilroe on the season. 4th win coming here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The 41 back in victory lane. Pileshi and Kahn going to round out your podium spots. Mike Hasty, a great run once again, coming home in the top 5 time Erasco. Certainly an off strategy here tonight, but it's going to be enough to get in to the top 5 as they're banging around back in the pack back there. Not sure what is going on here, but somehow we're gonna finish this race as looks like they'll 3 wide in turn 1. But Hilton, Caldwell, Cade Green, Pratt, and Call will round out your top 10 here tonight.
Oh, what a busy race at the end as a lot of drivers trying to push that last corner using the wall. You can see it. DJ Mitchell obviously finishing out as he coming down into turn number 1, using the wall to slow him down. But yeah, maybe not what some of the drivers wanted, but definitely worked out in the favor of the number 41 here tonight of Dalton Kilroe. Andrew Pileshi in second, Robert Kahn for third. We will talk to those drivers here shortly. We'll go ahead. Did we get the official results? Yes. So I'll go ahead and bring those up real quick. Ooh. Come on. Come on. All right, well, your top 6 is Dalton Kilroe, Andrew Pileshi, Robert Kahn, Mike Hasty, Time Rasco, and Tyler Hilton. And then the rest of your field will be Maxwell Caldwell, Cade Green, Michael Pratt, Austin Call, and McNeese, Michael Taylor, Gordon Larson, Mike Rideout, DJ Mitchell, Chris Schuster, Eric Blount, Brandon Meir, Hemi Giardini, Tim Lee, John Garrett, Robert Smith, Brian Rainville, and Michael Eden. So it looks like Michael Eden didn't participate tonight, but got out here for some practice. But so congratulations to the winners, congratulations to the drivers. Another fantastic job here at the Indianapolis Speedway. Not the easiest of tracks to tame for sure.
No, it was good that we've seen some varying strategy there, especially with kind of how the cautions came. They came at some weird times throughout the race here, and it really kind of mixed up those strategies, and probably made a lot of drivers change their strategies 2-3 times here tonight. But the 41 parking it on the bricks here on the front stretch to get a nice little photo up there. Congratulations to the 41. We'll talk to him, Paleshi, and Khan here in a bit. I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that Sierra has to offer. I want to thank again our series sponsors, Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs. But it's about time to bring in our top 3, get them their well-due interviews, and we'll let Jimmy get all set up here before we bring in Robert Kahn. But it was a good one here tonight, and it took all 80 laps to decide this thing, with the pass being very late for Dalton Kilroe to get around Andrew Paleshi with 2 laps to go, coming to the white flag. So you love seeing the strategy really play out all the way to the end of this thing. But Robert Kahn is going to be your man that is going to bring home the 3rd place here tonight in the 21.
Hey guys.
Hey Robert, Jimmy Carl up here in the booth. Great finish here tonight. Obviously it's a caution and a weird timing of the race, making you guys kind of guess your strategies there towards the end. But give us a little rundown of how your race was, and do you think you might I guess I know. Just give us a rundown of how your race was and what maybe you could have done to put that number 20 on the pole or for the win here tonight.
Maybe let's hit a little bit, maybe 2 laps later than what I did, but I didn't take tires till the last 2 pit stops. I went a lap down, and then that caution came out, and that was a saving grace. I was able to drive through the field up to, I think, 3rd place before I pitted. So I'll take that. 30 laps beforehand, I was the lap down, and then to finish 3rd. Yeah, I'm good with it. I'd like to win that race, but I had nothing for Dalton. I pushed a little bit too hard because I knew that there was a tire difference, and tried to get a gap. But he's just so fast, man. You can get a little gap, but he's such a good driver.
Yeah, I mean, to come back from a lap down to finish 3rd, I mean, and maybe that those late cautions helped you out in the long run, and you're able to finish here another great week, another great finish at an awesome track. So just wanted to, obviously got your side of the story and say congratulations and give you a little time for any shouts you might have in that number 20.
Yeah, just Virtual Velocity Racing. Tim and them do such a good job with the league, and it's a blast to show up here every week. So I appreciate all the hard work they put into it. So, and you guys, man, you guys always do a hell of a broadcast. So it's always fun to listen to them on my way to work in the morning. So.
Well, we appreciate the shout outs as always, and obviously look forward to seeing you next week and seeing how you make out at the next track. So again, congratulations on your 3rd place finisher tonight, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Is your 3rd place finisher here tonight, the 21 of Robert Kahn. 2nd place is going to be the 81 of Andrew Paleshi. And Andrew, I guess we can kind of skip all the way to the final pit stop of the race. You decide that 4 tires isn't the strategy you want to go for. You want to try and get out there and build a bit of a buffer before everyone with those 4 tires starts to catch up to you. And man, it came about 3 miles short of being the right strategy.
Yeah, it was a gamble for sure. I thought that, especially after I seen Dalton in them pit, I thought it was a big enough gap, but like you said, 3.5 miles or whatever, just close enough. I couldn't keep the right front under it all night, and that hurt me too. I was definitely beating my tires up. So.
Yeah, it looked like as soon as you got past you there, you tried your best to try and stick with him and getting the wall there in the short shoot. But at least you come home with a 2nd place. I mean, it's another good finish here, another good points night as we're starting to get in the back half of this season. You guys got one more race next week at Texas before you have your summer break. So, any thoughts on maybe grabbing win number 2 there at Texas before you take the break?
Yeah, certainly we're going to give her all like we did this week and every week. I don't know if it's new or old Texas. I hope it's the old Texas. I like them both, but I hope it's the old Texas. So yeah, we're gonna try. We need to start, like you said, good points tonight, but need to start winning some races. So I'm getting there. It's just Dalton, the competition between Robert and Dalton. Those guys are so good that it's one slight mistake, you're screwed. So. But hey, I finished second, so I'm in the booth, so I got that going for me.
That's all that matters at the end of the day, whether it's a top 3 or not. Either way, you're talking to us. Well, either way, it's a good run here tonight. And yeah, you gotta figure out something to slow down that 41 because he's starting to go on a little bit of a roll here, and you don't want him run away with his championship before the end of it. But I know you got the car here. You're up there week in and week out and putting together a really good season so far. We'll see what you can do next week at Texas. But before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Oh, well, shout out to my team, as usual. Maxwell Caldwell, Todd Merkel couldn't make it tonight. My buddy Austin Call showed up and raced tonight. He tried to give her hell tonight, and he did an all right job. You guys up in the booth, as always. Like I said, you know the rule. I'm just trying to get up here to say hi to you guys, so. Another good race, as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, shout out to Tim and everybody. It's a great race around here, so happy to be here.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on the second place tonight. We'll see you next week at Texas. See if you can take one more step.
We're going to try, man. Hopefully I'm talking to you as the winner.
All right, buddy. That is your second place finisher, the 81 of Andrew Paleschi. Top spot here tonight is going to go to the 41 of Dalton Kilroe for his 4th win on the season.
Hey, Dalton, this is Jimmy Carl in the booth. Copy.
Gotcha, loud and clear.
Hey, looks and sounds like the 41 is on a roll here as we hit the stride past the midway season, getting your 4th win of the season here at a pretty difficult track. Obviously, a little more of a driver's track. You having to manage your tires and pit stops and whatnot, and you did just that. You had the perfect strategy that allowed you enough time. It wasn't even a last lap pass. It was a lap before the last lap pass. But you walk away here as a victor. So give us a little rundown on your race here tonight and how everything went for you.
Yeah, I've always loved Indy. It's one of my favorite tracks to race on the service. It's actually the place where I got my first league race win 6 years ago, and it was in this car. So I've got a little soft spot in my heart for Indy and in this legacy ARCA car. Hopefully we keep running it because it's fun. In my eyes, it's fun. It gets hate for whatever reason, but I don't see it. I don't know. Man. I'm just out here having fun, just enjoying the track. The 81 had us stressing because Robert and I came out of the pits and we were 8.5 seconds behind him, and we were just like, oh God, here we go. But then we started reeling them in 6/10, 7/10, 7/10, 7/10, and it was. I kept telling him, I was like, we just got to keep this up. We're gonna get them, and if was gonna try to work with him, and then he made a slight little mistake, and I had to take the opportunity to get around him and not really lose too much momentum. Ended up probably being the race saving call and race winning call, because I think if I stayed behind him, I don't think I catch the 81. But no, it just had a bunch of different things trying to happen. Like the last caution that came out was like right in the middle of a fuel run. I would have been able to make it on one more stop from there. I don't know if anybody else would have, maybe one other person, but I was trying to cover all bases, and it kept working out for me. So I will gladly take it. And not as many points gained on Paleschi as I would like, because I know he's the points leader, and me winning's great, but with him finishing second, it's like, man, missed an opportunity there. But hopefully we can keep that momentum up.
Yeah, definitely got the right momentum. Obviously, finishing in front of your competitors and getting the max amount of points that you could. maybe minus. I don't know if you guys get points for grabbing poles or not, but definitely a great race. Great points night. And you continue this march here. You're looking at defending your championship again this season. And yeah, you're right when you said you made that call, because I was talking to Carl. I was like, oh, these two need to work together, or they're not going to catch Paleshi as he's on a roll. He's out there like 8 seconds, and you guys are working together. And we seen you break out, and I was like, well, we ain't quite sure what happened, but then Robert tucked right in behind you, and I think he ended up getting a little looser sideways, which ended up pushing him even farther back from you. So he still was able to round things out there and still finishing the top 3. But yeah, you guys definitely had to move on with them newer tires, catching Andrew, and you were able to execute it correctly and get yourself that the good old win here at the Brickyard. So from CRN and everybody else out there, I want to say congratulations. Got a few fans out there, keep rooting you on, Barry and whatnot. So obviously,
oh yeah, Barry,
I like to see that number 41 out front. So next week you head to Texas. What are your thoughts there, and how are you about to tackle the great Central?
Well, Texas, that's going to be fun. It's another track that I tend to run pretty well at, and I don't think it's going to be any sort of surprise if I'm in the top 5 fighting for the dub again next week.
Well, we look forward to seeing that 41 fighting for another win next week as well. So, but before we let you get out of here, we'll give you some time for any shouts you may have in at number 41.
Obviously, I got to thank teammates. Tonight was a little scarce because Paulson wasn't there and a couple others weren't there, but at least to add the one of Tom Orozco and, as we already talked about, Robert Kahn. When all of us are firing on all cylinders, I mean, the 3 of us all got top 5s, so if that's what we can do, and they both had kind of off nights by their standards, it's great. Definitely enjoy battling them for the win. Also, thanks to Paleshi for racing me clean there. I know could have probably gotten a little bit aggressive, but no, he kept it down there when I got around the outside and didn't force anything that he didn't need to. I thank the admins at Virtual Velocity Racing for putting this league on. It's always fun. It's very relaxed, very chill. Gotta thank Goldline Guardians, Hilton Crafts and Designs, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and everybody else that makes all of this run. You guys, obviously, if you're doing the broadcast, I can't wait to go back and look and see how the end of that race played out, and see what all Barry was saying out there.
Yeah, Barry's always rooting for Dalton, and he'll be like, he's looking good, and he's pretty good at guessing who the winner is. But more
don't times, start jinxing me now, Barry. Don't do that.
More times than not, he's rooting for the 41 here on Thursday night. So. But again, thanks for the shout outs, and again, congratulations on the win here at Indy. Look forward to seeing you maybe back in the booth next week at Texas, but we'll let you get out of here. Go celebrate with your friends and family.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Yep, later.
That is your winner here tonight. 4th win on the season for the 41 of Dalton Kilroll. We'll see if you can get 5 at next week at Texas. Make sure you tune in to that one, as that's going to take us again into our summer break here for the Virtual Velocity Racing Series. But it's been a blast so far, and I'm sure next week at Texas is going to be some Wild West shootout, as these guys usually put on a heck of a battle. Thank you, everyone, once again for tuning in here tonight. But that's going to do it for myself and Jimmy from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the track.
Peace.